Chapter 3, Understanding Leadership Styles. What is your style of leadership? Are you in charge? Are you an in charge type of leader who closely monitors followers, or are you a laid back type of leader who gives followers a lot of rein? Whether you are one or the other or somewhere in between, it is important to recognize your personal style of leadership. This style affects how others respond to you, how they respond to their work, and in the end, how effective you are as a leader. In this chapter, we will discuss how a person's view of people, work, and human nature forms a personal philosophy and style of leadership. In addition, this chapter will examine how that philosophy is demonstrated in three of the most commonly observed styles of personal leadership: the authoritarian, democratic, and laissez-faire styles. We will discuss the nature of these styles and implements each has for effective leadership performance. Uh, oops. The information in this chapter will be helpful in helping you determine to develop leadership style. Philosophy of leadership. It goes on to talk about Douglas McGregor in his book, The Human Side of Enterprise. And he talks about different theories. Theory X is made up of three assumptions about human nature and human behavior. See Table 3.1. Taken together, these assumptions represent a philosophy of leadership that many leaders exhibit to one degree or another. Assumption 1: the average person dislikes work and will avoid it at all possible. This assumption argues that people do not like to work. They view it as unpleasant, distasteful, or simply as a necessary evil. According to this assumption, if given a chance, people would choose not to work. As an example, this assumption is the worker who says, "I only go to work to get paid. If I don't need to pay my bills, I would never work." People with this perspective would avoid work if they could. Assumption 2: people need to be directed and controlled. This assumption is derived directly from the first assumption. Since people naturally do not like to work, management needs to set up a system of incentives and rewards regarding work that needs to be accomplished because workers are often unwilling or unable to motivate themselves. This assumption says that without external direction and incentives, people would be unmotivated to work. An example of this is a high school teacher who persuades students to work in homework assignments by threatening them with bad grades. The teacher forces students to perform because the teacher thinks that students are unwilling to do it or incapable of doing it without that force being applied. From the perspective of Theory X, leaders play a significant role in encouraging others to accomplish their work. Assumption 3: people want security, not responsibility. The picture this assumption paints is of the worker who wants leaders to take care of them, protect them, and make them feel safe. Because it is too difficult to set their own goals, workers want management to do it for them. This can happen when managers establish their guidelines for workers. An example of this assumption can be observed on a sorting line for Oracle, where the employees had to focus on completing the specific tasks set before them: picking out bad fruit, filling boxes with fruit, and are not required to take initiative for decisions on their own. In general, because of the pace of the repetitiveness of work, disorders are not required to accept many challenging responsibilities. Instead, they are told what to do and how to do it. So, what does it mean if the person's personal leadership philosophy is similar to Theory X? It means these leaders have a tendency to view workers as lazy and uninterested in work because they do not value work. As a result, Theory X leaders tend to be directive and controlling. They supervise followers closely and quick to both praise and criticism and see fit. Yeah, basically they're looking to get paid. And that's it. So we'll go to Theory Y next.